Now we can import Excel file as well. It doesn't matter whether you have .xls or you have .xlsx, we can import it, but we have the option to do it with utils package, the inbuilt package, but we are going to do it with another package called readr package as well as readxl, both the packages. So we will be learning in both the packages how to do it. So first we will install the package readxl, then we are going to load the package, and then we will use the excel underscore sheet. So in a Excel, as you know that there can be different tab, different sheet, so we can actually see how many that kind of sheet are there and what are their names, and once we are satisfied with the name, then we can read one by one, and then we can create a list using all those sheet. Now quickly see the demo of it. So first we are going to install the package readxl. I'm not going to do it because I already have installed, and then I will load the readxl package using library function. Then now before I run this function, let me open the Excel for you, and then let's see how it's actually look like, so you also understand. So let me open this thing for you. So this is the file we are trying to open, urban population, and if you see the file description, it's a XLS file, and basically you have country name and urban population for these year, so from 1960 to 1966. Then again you have another tab or another tab which has 1967 to 1974. So now if we want to actually import this file into R using a readxl package, let me do that. So I can do that. Now I will be using excel underscore sheet, and I will be writing within double quote, I will be writing the name of the file, which is urbanpop.xlsx, and you can see it gives me three output, 1966 to 1966, then these three number. Now this is about reading the different tab, but what about actually getting this information as a data frame? We are using read underscore excel function, and we are saying that I want to store in pop1 sheet 1, which is 1960 to 1966, then in sheet 2, then sheet 3. So let me create these three variable, these three data frame. So these are actually data frame. So if you select pop1 and population 1 and try to see, these are actually table. If you remember from last example, what it does, this readxl package, it creates a table for you, which is better version of a data frame. Similarly, let me create population 2 and population 3. Now I am going to store these population 1 to 3 in a list, and if you remember from last class that a list can contain anything. Now I am trying to store 3 data frame in a list called pop list. Now my pop list is ready, and if you want to see the structure of pop list, you can see this is till 2011 from, so this is the third one. If you try to see the console part, this is the third one where 209 observation with 38 variable, then the second one 9 variable, and this 8 variable. If you open the spreadsheet as well, if you see, it has more attributes, 38 attributes. The second tab has less 8, and this one has 9, I think. That's how you can actually import any Excel spreadsheet, and you can see how many tabs are there, and if you want to store that in a data frame, this is how you can do it. In fact, instead of list, you can store it in a data frame as well. Now let me quickly go through. Now this is about your importing a Excel. Now we will be learning about how to do it from a database. Now from a database it's not that much easy. So you have to actually establish a connection, and from that connection you have to authenticate, authorize, and then only you can access the data, which is beyond the scope of this class. But I am giving you the name of those packages by which you can understand that how to do it. So for SQL database, if you want to connect R, we use R MySQL package. Similarly for PostgreSQL, we have R PostgreSQL, and similarly for Oracle database, we have R Oracle packages. Now for each of these packages contain lot of different function which actually helps to import those data, and each of those function would be having lot of argument to actually have control over that data. So I am giving just an example, but this is not exhaustive. Like you can use dbconnect function in R MySQL packages, and that is how you can name the database name. You can say the what is the host name, port name, user and password, and once you get it, you can mention which table you want to access. That's how you can import any data from database. But I would strongly suggest you go and search on your own about these three packages. Now how to import from web. Now if you have any web link, suppose this is a URL, this is a URL where the swimming pool.csv data is there. So what you can do, if you remember earlier also we are using read_csv, and between the bracket we were giving the path name. So what we are doing, basically we are storing this path name in url.csv, url_csv, and now we are just passing that URL CSV, and the data would be stored, that swimming pool data would be stored in pools. Similarly, this is about import the CSV file using any web URL. Similarly, if you want to do a text also, suppose you have this potato.txt in this web URL, you want to store that data, import that data. So similarly we can use read_table, and we can give the path name, and it would be stored in potato, and then you can see what is there. So quickly let me show you how to do that demo. So import from web, first load the readr packages. So this is from readr package, and let me store the URL first in URL CSV, then pass that path name to pool. And similarly, these are warning message, you don't need to worry about it, it's not any error. Similarly, if you want to store a import a text file which is there in a URL, first get the URL path name and then pass the path name in read_table, and then you can see what is being stored in pool and potatoes. So you can understand that from a web URL it's pretty easy to import any kind of data set. So instead of first getting the path and then giving the passing that path to read_csv, instead of that you can give the whole path name as well. So it contains your path name as well as the file name, like which is swimmingpool.csv. So it would work accordingly. Now apart from this, apart from how to read a web URL, I am also going to discuss about web API and JSON file. And why this is important, because most of the social media data, you cannot actually import any data directly from Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram or anywhere else. So they don't provide data in a web URL, rather they provide a web API, and most of the time the data is there in JSON format. So what it does, if you research more about what is API and what is actually a web API, so they create a function, so they give you option which data you want. So the data is being stored as a JSON format like this. Suppose if this is a information about a movie, IMDb has a web API. Through that IMDb web API, you can access any information about any movie. So that is what is being done. So here I have used JSON Lite R packages and then load it, and then I have used from JSON function and given the link for that web API. So using that web API, I can get a nice looking structure like this, which is much more better than the JSON original format. So this is how we get it. But again, I would strongly suggest you go ahead and research about how to access data from Twitter using R. Similarly, how to access Facebook data using R. So you would get all the places. Each and every company has their own web API, and you can actually get those web API and you can get the data. Similarly for comment also, like if you want to actually extract all the comment from Amazon review some product, and then you want to build some kind of text analytics, there also you can first download all those data through their web API, and then you can convert it into a data frame or a JSON file to data frame, and then you can do your own analysis. And the last one is actually importing from statistical tool. Why this is important? Because apart from R, there are a lot of other statistical tool which is being used in different scenario. Like SPSS is mostly used in social sciences, Stata is used in economics, and SAS is being used in across industry. Now whenever these tools are being used, the output is something different. All are not same. Like in R we have .r file. Similarly for SPSS they have .sav, .stata.dda. So different kind of file. Now how to import this kind of file? So again, we have a R package called Heaven, and in Heaven we have different function which can actually import these kind of files. Now again, there are too many arguments to discuss and too many things to discuss. So I would strongly suggest go back and check out this Heaven package if you are really interested to import and export through this kind of statistical tool.